Welcome to the deep dive. We take important source materials and really try to pull out the core ideas for you.
And today we're getting into something pretty profound.
Yeah, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. It's more than just a book, isn't it? It feels like a journey.
Definitely. It cuts right through the superficial stuff, straight to the heart of, what it means to be human.
And you really have to start with Frankl himself, the author.
Absolutely. He wasn't just a psychiatrist. He lived through the Holocaust, through Nazi concentration camps.
Which gives everything he writes this incredible weight. This isn't abstract theory.
Not at all. It's insight forged in, unimaginable suffering. But it's not just about the horror. It's about what he learned through it.
And one of the first big takeaways was about survival itself. He noticed something specific about those who made it through.
Right. He saw that the people who had a why, some purpose, maybe a loved one they hope to see again, or unfinished work, they had a better chance.
It suggests that meaning isn't a luxury. It's almost a survival tool, like a psychological anchor.
Exactly. And this became the foundation for his whole approach to therapy, which he called logotherapy.
Logotherapy. So unlike some other school of thought, it's not focused primarily on pleasure or power.
Precisely. Frankl believed the main driver for us humans, the fundamental thing, is our search for meaning. That's what pushes us forward.
Which leads to maybe his most striking idea, this concept of the last human freedom.
Ah, yes. Even when literally everything else is stripped away, your freedom, your possessions, your dignity.
There's still one thing you can control.
Your attitude. Your inner response to what's happening. You always have the freedom to choose how you face your circumstances.
It sounds simple, but coming from him, given what he endured, it's incredibly powerful. How does that apply, though, when our struggles aren't that extreme?
Well, the principle holds, right? We can't always control events, job loss, illness, difficult relationships, but we can control our perspective, our response. It's an active choice.
Okay, so if meaning is so crucial, how do we actually find it? Did he give any pointers?
He did. He outlined 3 main paths, ways we can discover meaning in our lives.
What's the first one?
The first is through work or deeds. So creating something, achieving something, contributing through your actions, building a career, raising a family, dedicating yourself to a cause, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. Action and creation, what's the second?
The second is through experience, specifically through love or encountering something greater than yourself.
So like appreciating beauty, nature, art, or connecting deeply with another person.
Exactly. Experiencing goodness, truth, beauty, or loving someone unconditionally. It's about connection and appreciation.
Okay. Work and deeds, love and experience. And the third? You mentioned it was perhaps the most profound.
Yes. The third path is through the attitude we take towards suffering we cannot avoid.
So this isn't about liking pain, obviously.
Not at all. It's about finding meaning in the suffering when the suffering itself is inescapable. When you face a situation you just cannot change.
Like a serious illness or a major loss.
Right. Frankl says the challenge then becomes to change yourself, to grow through the adversity, to find meaning in how you bear that burden. That, he argued, is what truly sustains us meaning, not just fleeting pleasure or power.
That's a tough one. It's easy to talk about, much harder to actually live out.
Right.
So how does all this land for us today, in our busy, often chaotic lives?
I think it's incredibly relevant. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and lose sight of our why. Frankl's work is a jolt, really.
A reminder to look for purpose, even when things are difficult.
Yes, and maybe even especially when things are difficult. It challenges us not just to ask what we want from life,
but something deeper.
Yeah. Frankl flips the question. He asks you, the listener, to consider, what is life asking of me?
What is life asking of me? That's a question that stays with you.
It really does, which is why this book isn't just something you read and put away. It kind of embeds itself in your thinking.
It's an invitation, then, to actively, consciously choose meaning, whatever comes your way.
A powerful thought to carry with you.
Indeed. Something to reflect on until we meet for our next deep dive.